is #1 at the Devaney Center tonight. Take a look at the starting lineups, and we'll begin with the Nittany Lions of Penn State. They came in ranked number 25 nationally, set for Nebraska. Lady Choboy wearing the libero jersey tonight. But in the middle for Nebraska, Andy Jackson's been terrific in Big Ten play.
Yeah, Jackson, one of the most...
Sweep for Penn State. They went on to win the national title against Danny Busboom's Louisville Cardinal. Alduno to start it off for the Nittany Lions from the service line. Morgan Riley back to Adriano, and like Nebraska has done in so many matches this year, they go to the right to start.
It's really important for Nebraska to establish the right side as a threat because Adriano becomes one of the last offensive options for the Huskers. It's great to have her involved earlier on in matches.
The freshman out of Italy with the first kill. Off the tape. There's Kennedy Martin with her first swing. Nebraska on the block touch. Well run the middle. Andy Jackson pushes it over right to Grimes. Out of the back row, Terea Signal. Not down. Good hustle by Bergen Riley to keep it alive. Bump set out to Harper Murray off the block. Thrown down, but just wide. Point for Nebraska.
This is Nebraska's defense at its finest, and we get it 2 points into the match already. Everything is so difficult when you're trying to put a ball down on Nebraska's side because of plays like that from Bergen Riley. Amazing defense all around. One
of the top defensive setters in the country without question, Bergen Riley. Around the middle, Middleton with the tip, and Maggie Middleton just over the outstretched block gets the kill. There is Danny Busboom Kelly, year #1 at Nebraska. 28-0, first head coach in her first season with the school to win a Big Ten title. Huskers have that wrapped up, trying to complete an unbeaten season, what would be their first ever unbeaten year in the Big Ten Conference. You gotta like the bling tonight.
I was about to say, we gotta talk about the jacket. I mean, come on. She is just dripping right now. That's awesome.
Is dripping good?
Okay. Dripping is good, Larry. Okay. Dripping is good.
Thank you.
Got the drip. Come on.
Serve is just long by Adriano.
What I love about her attire too is she's always has really cool jackets. She gets them sent from other places, and they want to make sure coaches fit it out there.
Kennedy Martin now with the serve. On the slide, Andy Jackson. Pounded off the block by Selman. Jackson again on the slide, knocked down. Penn State doing a good job. Jackson, 3 swings, has not terminated yet. Here's Harper Murray. Off the block and out, and a kill for Harper Murray.
Throughout long rallies so far during this set, Nebraska has been able to come out on the top of those. Penn State has to do a better job of terminating quicker.
There's Katie Schumacher-Colley, 4th season at Penn State. She won a national title as a player, last year as a coach, and coaching for her alma mater. Serve there is long. Talking to Katie today, this team really felt like they have something to prove after the earlier matchup between these two teams. You know, Penn State hit -114 in the match. Nebraska really dominated in 3 straight. Early on with a new setter for Penn State, obviously. There's Andy Jackson. Slide the other way. Good up by Mauk. Taylor Landfair with a little push right in front of Jurevicius.
Already for Nebraska, 3 different players have a kill each. Riley's doing a really nice job spreading out this offense, making sure to get people involved, getting them in a really good position to do so.
So Andy Jackson now will serve. Out of the back row, Kennedy Martin one-handed up by Jackson. Wow. Rebecca Alec on the overpass. What an up by Jackson.
She's a middle that can do it all. Andy Jackson playing in the back row. Check out this save. It's one-handed outside. This is why defensively you want to be able to play outside your body and not connect your platform because of ups like that.
On the slide again, that got through the block, and the kill for the Nittany Lions. Nichols with the kill.
And Gabrielle Nichols really worked herself into this starting lineup. She started the last 7 of 11 matches and has been really big. That game against Michigan State 2 games ago, 10 kills, no errors, hit over 500.
526, amazing. Out of the back row, Harper Murray explodes on one, great up That's Nathan in the back row, keeping it alive, but then into the net on Penn State. A terrific save there by Jocelyn Nathan.
Yeah, really good up on Penn State's side. They just haven't been able to convert a lot of these swings. Good defense, though, in the backcourt.
Good pass, Middleton on the slide. Does not make it over. Right down the line of the kill for Juravicius. Caroline Juravicius back in the lineup. She's been battling injury, but good to see her back on the floor.
Yeah, cool to see her back at a school that she was previously at as well. Transferred into to Penn State this past season after playing a year in Lincoln. It's always fun to have a, I don't know if she'd call it a homecoming, but it's fun for fans to call it a homecoming.
Adriano out of the middle. And Adriano with the kill. Yeah, both Mendelson and Juravicius back after transferring out of Nebraska in the same year to Penn State.
Here's Adriano again coming in the middle this time. This is a cross pattern that Nebraska uses normally as a right side, hitting through the middle, and then they have the middle going on the right.
Roll shot by Juravicius, not down. That's Kennedy Martin, check that. The swing is wide there by Adriano, point Penn State. There is Virginia Adriano. Hit .452 in her last 2 matches. Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Her second such honor this year. So Falduno now to serve. Around the middle, Rebecca Alec. Alec, 2 swings, 2 kills.
One of the biggest reasons why Nebraska's offense is so efficient leading the NCAA is because the passing is so good. It's always up within about 5 feet of the net for Bergen Riley to be able to run all options on attack.
Off the block and out, Kennedy Martin with another kill.
If Penn State wants any shot of winning today, Kennedy Martin's going to have a lot of kills tonight. We've seen her go off 30 kills at a time. That was just her first of the night. Penn State has to find a way to get her going and get her in good positions to get kills.
11 kills on 33 swings the last time these two squared off. That was a touch on Penn State, point for Nebraska, but Martin also had 5 errors. She hit 182 against the Huskers last time out. But she can take over a match. 75 swings, not unusual for her.
Well, the thing about Penn State, too, is Martin scores at such a high clip, but Penn State really needs that second-point scorer to come alive. It doesn't matter who it is. Someone, though, needs to step up and back her up. Because we've seen matches where Martin goes off for 30 kills, and Penn State still loses again.
One-on-one, there's the battle of All-Americans. Kennedy Martin, Harper Murray, and Murray wins that one.
Great battle up front. Murray in an awesome position. Middle not in sight, so she drops her hands back into the seam to shut it down.
It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
Off the touch, big swing there by Emmy Selman with the kill.
Addie Lyon up front. That's the setter for Penn State, number 7 in blue. She's a shorter setter up front, just stands at 5'7". Look for Nebraska to exploit that matchup by setting balls outside to Murray.
Martin now back to serve. Harper Murray rolls. What a shot. Wow. Deep zone 1. Harper Murray finds that corner.
A really smart decision for Harper Murray. She has a shorter block in front of her, so she has the ability to go up and over it. Goes above Kennedy Martin and drop it right in the corner.
Great pace out to Selman. No touch, though. Swing was wide, but great tempo there.
Yeah, awesome tempo to the outside. And what that means is the ball's not too high above the net, so it's faster, and it doesn't allow Nebraska's middle to get there in time. Just a connection that time, a little bit off.
Tough pass there, puts Penn State out of system into the block. They'll be able to reset. Selman again with the tip. And Selman over the block with the kill.
Smart decision for Selman. She missed the last one wide. This time just goes right over the block to the middle of the court, right between all of the defenders on Nebraska's side.
So Emmy Selman now back to serve. Landfair into the block, and the block is out. Kill for Landfair. She's beginning to step up for Nebraska. If they can get that other left side going, look out.
Yeah, I mean, look out for the whole team. It's on any given night, any players have the ability to go off. That's what makes Nebraska so tough. You never know who's going to have one of those nights where it's just completely going off.
Jervis just pushes to the back on the slide. Diving up in the back row by Andy Jackson. Just will not find a lot of middles who make that up. Free ball opportunity here for Nebraska. Morgan Riley, back row. A great hustle, but could not keep it alive. And Rebecca Allen off a fantastic defensive effort.
It's your same position, and watch the way that they work.
Great swing by Juravicius off the side of the block of Morgan Riley and Juravicius. And she has played well against Nebraska. You look at those two matches last year, two of her best matches of the year.
Yeah, well, you think back to that regional semifinal match, or the national semifinal match rather, 20 kills against Nebraska. She went off and was one of the reasons why Penn State was able to win that game.
A little out of system, but Nichols pays it off on the slide with the kill. Lexi Jin is in to serve now. '24th match as a serving sub for Penn State. Murray out of the back row. Nice pick, and Murray with the kill.
Nebraska has answered every single time that Penn State has put pressure on them. That's what makes Nebraska so good. They're able to side out so quickly. Penn State has not scored 1 point when they have been back on the back line serving. Nebraska has sided out 100% of the time.
It was a great observation by you without even looking at the numbers to see that they've sided out 100%. And obviously what that means is that every time Penn State has scored, Nebraska has answered. And Taylor Landfair with the kill, just rolls on Penn State's side of the floor.
So much of this game is not allowing your opponent to go on runs and how quickly you can side out, because that means that you're answering every single time your opponent is trying to score.
Look at the difference in Landfair's hitting percentage, 322 against 218, 100 points better year over year. Great hustle by Morgan Riley. Crowd clears, Nebraska keeps it alive. On the slide, Mendelson. Great shot by Mendelson. Found the deep corner on the swing.
Beautiful shot from Mendelson. Awesome defense allowed that rally to unfold like that. Great up again from Morgan Riley, but it's a free ball on Penn State's side, and I like that repeat of the middle set.
Right back to the same place. No, there was a touch. She went high hands and got him. And once again, Penn State scores. Nebraska sides out.
Yeah, the answer for Nebraska, especially out of system, the outsides are doing a really nice job going off the block and out of bounds. They're catching fingertips, they're going off the forearm, doing a really good job targeting that right front blocker.
Huskers hitting 480, Penn State 111 here in set number 1. Terrific hustle to get that up by Grimes. Was there a touch? No touch for Nebraska.
Nebraska's not allowing Penn State to use them on the block. We've seen so many of Penn State's shots up front go out of bounds because they're looking for hands, but they're not getting any.
And the ace for Taylor Landfair. 3-0 Nebraska run. And a timeout taken by Katie Schumacher.
Krikovic from Indiana was in that conversation, and then Coach of the Year. There were so many options that you could think of. Dave Shondell, what he's done at Purdue, replacing over 90% of offensive production. But I think, Danny sticks out because of how dominant this team has been. Yes, she inherited a really, really good team, right. But at the end of the day, it is so difficult to lose only 7 sets the entire year. So I love what Danny has been able to do in her first season. It's unheard of.
And the ability to play multiple players and keep a team with this much depth and talent happy. I mean, that's not an easy task.
No.
Kennedy Martin with the kill. Off the block and down. Kennedy Martin runs behind the center, 21-13. Baldudo to serve. One-handed set out to Harper Murray, and she got the kill off the block and out. What a set by Bergen Riley.
A beautiful set from Riley. A one-hander that goes up. Nebraska's outsides again. This time Murray going off the block and out of bounds. Penn State needs to do a much better job bringing that block in. Come on.
Right.
Beautiful set from Riley.
That's where you do not get a three-point pass, and you still manage to put one away. The ace for the Huskers. And Nebraska now 2 away from taking set number 1. Lady Choboy with the ace.
Choboy has done such a good job this season, really ramping up her service pressure. She's driving it lower to the net, and that's made it more difficult for passers.
Run in the middle. Mendelson not down. Run it up by Choboy. Harper Murray. Mendelson in the middle. Big kill by Maggie.
Much better transition play for Penn State, controlling that first contact. That allows the setter to have all options on attack. And when Penn State can get things going in the middle, they become a difficult offense to defend. It's just a question of whether they can get the middle going.
In system again. Andy Jackson not down. Little joust at the net. Right back to Andy Jackson again, and that, believe it or not, is Andy Jackson. First kill of the match. She's 1 of 5, but now Nebraska with set point here in the first. The block by Jackson to close it out. Pretty dominant performance in the first.
Yeah, this is exactly what we expect from Nebraska and the way that they've been able to...
At Nebraska.
I mean, it's good company whenever you're with those 07 to 10 teams from Penn State.
Yeah.
The best, most dominant run of all time.
The most dominant run. Yeah, it's interesting. You think about Nebraska's set run this year, and so much was made about 48 consecutive sets. And you go back and you think about those late. They had 111 sets in a row.
Yeah,
they won.
That is just something that will never happen again with this level of volleyball and the parity that we see across the country. It is so difficult to even string together 10 sets consecutively, let alone almost 50. Again by
Choboy. Boy, that defense. Kennedy Martin, good swing by Martin. Just pulled it inside and tooled the block.
Laney Choboy, the libero for Nebraska, doing Laney Choboy things. This is why she's so fun to watch. She makes crazy diving plays like this. When you think the ball is down, she scoops under it to keep it alive.
She'll bring the energy, no doubt. Free ball opportunity for Penn State. Ooh. No, they're going to say it was down on Penn State's side.
Yeah, that's just an undisciplined block up front from Penn State. That's an easy ball that the front court has to be able to convert.
And now Choboy back to serve. Target Selman in this rotation. Out of system, Harper Murray's swing is long. Point for Penn State.
Anytime Nebraska makes an error, Penn State has to capitalize on that, especially with Martin on the back line. One of Penn State's best servers. They have to find a way to go on a run early and get somewhat of a cushion.
So Martin out of serve. Right back to Harper Murray, who throws that right into the middle. Point for the Huskers. Harper Murray with 7 kills already. She's hitting above 475.
And Harper Murray is making it look easy. She's doing things and getting it done in different ways. She's scored on off speed. She's scored on chip shots down the line, has used the block well. We've also seen her rip some.
Hitting right at 500 now. 7 kills, 12 swings, 1 error. Well, that Adriano serve is so dangerous. It's almost like an attack from the back line, from the service line.
Yeah, it is so difficult because Adriano hits at such a high contact point. She's 6'5", she's got a long reach. This ball's essentially going straight down, and it has a little side spin on it, which makes it that much tougher.
And again, another ace, back-to-back. Working on it in practice a lot. They finally figure she's not as high error as she had been, and so they've unveiled that. She tries to short swing. Great idea. Overtime. And leads to the kill for Andy Jackson.
That shows a lot of maturity out of the freshman Virginia Adriano. I know she's 21 years old, but still in her first year at Nebraska, coming out of the timeout, being smart and just hitting this one in, dropping it short, really making it tough on the passers.
Spun a little bit too, hooked out of bounds, but 2 aces and an overpass on a service run, not bad. She really struggled early in the season, feeling like she wasn't living up to her potential and was letting the team down. And the coaching staff worked with her a lot to help her understand that this is a progression here. Coming to a new environment and having the kind of success she did when she played in Italy.
It's really difficult coming into this level, no matter where you're coming from. And in the Italian system, as Jackson puts that one down.
There's typical Andy Jackson, huh?
Well, it's a different kind of offense at this level, and that's an exact example of why it's so fast here in the Big Ten and really all at NCAA. And the system that Adriano has in Italy is a lot higher, it's a lot slower. They don't have attacks like that coming very often with how fast it is.
Swing out of the back row by Martin into the net. Point Nebraska, and they're on top 9-3.
And Penn State has to find a way to limit these runs, especially getting that first contact is so important right now.
That time, Martin from the back row between the block. Huskers threw up a triple there, and she beat it.
Even 3 blockers up, 6 big hands in front of Martin. She still finds lanes and ways around it. From the backcourt, she even has better vision because she has about 10 extra feet of where she can see those blockers set up.
Great dunk by Bergen Riley.
Bergen Riley doesn't dunk very often, but when she does, it's incredibly tactical. She knows when the blockers are going up with her and when they aren't. Right here, she's got an open net middle, nowhere to be found. 5 feet off the net, you don't expect that normally from a setter.
Andy Jackson into the net. So back to the service line goes Lex. Check that goes Addie Lyon. Lyon back to serve. Imagine being Addie Lyon. You're coming in being told you're going to run the B side, you're going to work in practice, and then all of a sudden being thrown into the primary center role early in the season and having to adjust. It's been a big adjustment for Addie, but she's done a great job.
Yeah, and this comes from a player who also has 4 years of experience under her belt. She was a starter at St. Louis, and she also played at Mizzou. She has a lot of playing experience. It just hasn't been at this level in the Big Ten for a program like Penn State, 8-time national champion.
Right.
So the expectations have been high, but she's also know that she's not expected to come in and be like Izzy Stark, who was their former setter who stepped away for mental health reasons. They're not expecting her to be as good as Stark,
right,
but they are expecting this offense to run pretty smooth.
The block there by Nebraska. Rebecca Alec, point for the Huskers, and they continue to side out. They're setting out now 95%, which means that there's another ace for Bergen Riley. This is what Nebraska did on the road to Penn State, was really just continued to serve tough, and first touch was a challenge for the Nittany Lions.
Really nice serve from Bergen Riley. Nebraska is bringing the service pressure tonight.
4 aces for the Huskers, 6 aces, sorry, for the Huskers, now make it 7. Wow.
Nebraska's not allowing Penn State to get comfortable. They're hitting it deep, dropping it short. Those passers have no idea where the ball is going.
As a head coach, they replaced AVCA Hall of Famers in Russ Rose and John Cook. Big swing by Kennedy Martin, but Adriano is there again.
It's been so cool to see female coaches successful at this level. Of course, Annie Bozeman-Kelly was doing it for years at Louisville, where she spent 8 seasons, brought them to 2 national championship appearances. Clearly knows how to get her team going. But it's so cool for players that want to be coaches, or people in the sport that want to be coaches, to see that role model and success at that kind of level.
Rebecca Alec with a kill in the middle.
I mean, she's got to be so proud of what she's done with this team as well. I mean, the dominance that Nebraska has shown this season is nothing that we've seen in recent years. You maybe have to go back to those Stanford teams from 2016 to 2019, but they didn't win 28 matches in a row.
And to a player, they'll tell you how much fun they're having. They're like, They don't feel pressure. They feel like winning is fun, and she's instilled that in this team, something they maybe didn't have, and John Cook admits it. They didn't have under John. He was so focused on 6 at a time, and let's win, and regiment, she's freed him up a little bit.
Well, and you can see that in the way that Nebraska plays. They play with so much joy. A player like Harper Murray, who I know lost her love for the sport a little bit there, she found that back, and just watching the faces of everyone out on the court, obviously, it's easier to be happy when you're winning matches, so that certainly helps, but you can even just tell being in their practice gym, the joy that Nebraska plays with is so cool to see.
Karis Willow into the match now. That swing wide by Karis as she tried to go line. Good idea, just a bit wide. And the hitting percentages, folks, in this set. Penn State hitting negative 250, Nebraska 636.
This set right now feels a lot like what we saw during set 1 when Nebraska was in Rec Hall. It was 25-6. This is mental for Penn State right now. They have to find a way to get out of these kind of moments.
Tough serve. Harris with the swing, will not get it down. Taylor Landfair tried to swipe it off the block, but missed the hands. Point for Penn State.
However the points come, Penn State shouldn't care. If Nebraska's making errors, that's great. What they need is at least a little bit of a run. Even if you don't come back in this set, at least make it competitive and show that you can have fight in a moment like this.
Ava Faldudo to serve. And just long.
Just a missed opportunity for Penn State.
Landfair now to serve. Kennedy Martin is blocked, and that is Obeche, who is now in the match for the Huskers, the middle blocker, Manaya Obeche.
Every time Manaya Obeche is in the match, it feels like she makes a massive difference. She's hitting over 500, averaging about 1.3 blocks a set. And that's coming in off of the bench for Nebraska, which is insane to think about the future of this program, especially after a player like Rebecca Alec graduates after this season.
Yeah, Obeche hitting 545 on the season.
Unreal.
And she's had a couple of starts, so it's not like all mop-up time, right? I mean, she's been in there in big moments. You see her block there. Swing is wide. Point Nebraska, and the Huskers are rolling right now. Also into the match now for the Huskers, Skylar Pierce on the left side. Here's a redshirt freshman for the Huskers out of Lenexa, Kansas.
Toraya Sigler, number 11, just one of the most fiery players on the bench. When you get her and Alec together, too, it's almost too much. It's awesome.
No touch. Swing is long. Brian Torren off the bench, encouraging this team, like, trying to get a little fight here for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, at this point, again, it becomes a mental battle for Penn State and just showing that you can fight and that you're not going to back down and lay down for a team like Nebraska, especially with this rivalry. I mean, this is a massive rivalry. It may not look like it this year with how Nebraska dominated the first matchup between the two, but these are teams that have respect for each other, but they do not like each other.
We've had some phenomenal battles over the years. There's no doubt about that. Jillian Grimes to serve. Adriano rolls it over, and another kill for Adriano. That is her third.
Adriano has done a nice job showing off her range. That's something she's really developed so far this season. In the beginning of the year, it felt like it was kill or air. Now she's getting a little bit more crafty, showing that she has other shots.
Trying to keep it alive, but they can't get it back over. Diving into the bench is Bergen Riley and Nebraska assistant Jalen Reyes. Is that dip?
I honestly feel like Bergen Riley could have been there. I felt like Jalen just couldn't get out of the way in time.
Blame it on Jalen.
Good hustle, though, from the Huskers. Awesome up from Sigler. I mean, yeah, she's coming hot there.
Swing from Skylar Pierce. Oh, just brushed the antenna and out. Point for Penn State.
Yeah,
it looked like it was down.
Oh, barely clipping that one, but you see the explosiveness out of a player for Nebraska, and this is Sky Pierce, who's coming in off the bench, who's just hammering this ball. I mean, that was almost 10-foot line.
And then right back to her. It hit her on the way back. Another explosive swing, but off the block. And then maybe hits Pierce in the shoulder.
Good block from Penn State. Gabrielle Nichols getting a good piece of that. Good handwork there.
Adriano the other way, one-on-one. Adriano with the kill. Nichols just could not close it in time. Set point here in the second. Adriano to serve for it. Into the antenna. You could feel the anticipation of the Adriano serve.
Yeah,
set point.
That one felt like it was going to be an ace or an error right there.
That's right. Emmy Selman now back to serve. Huskers looking to side out here for the set. Great pass. Back row, Segler. Terea Segler with her first kill. Out of the back row, and the Huskers take set number 2 convincingly, 25-11 since 2017, when they won 2 in 3 years. They certainly have the resume. They've been to the Final Four 3 of 4 years as Rebecca Alec opens up set number 3. Great run of the mill, and Alec with the kill. Alec hitting 7-14, 5 kills, 7 swings.
Rebecca Alec has been really an X factor for Nebraska this year. The improvement in her game and how hard that she worked in the offseason to be the middle that she is right now, hitting over 400, 1.3 blocks per set, but also getting up in her production. How many kills that she's getting has made Nebraska tough, because now they have 2 awesome middle options.
Love it. Off the top of the block goes Harper Murray. Yeah, I really like what you see Terea Segler out of the back row. Not down. Maggie Middleton with the kill in the middle, with the comment you made about Alec and her improvement in the offseason and the amount of work that she has put in to get herself to this point.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why talking to her and talking to the coaching staff was it was actually huge for her to watch professional volleyball here in Nebraska with the Omaha Supernovas and the League One team, because she saw what professional middles looked like and how they moved and what they were able to do, and she wanted to replicate that. So she worked harder in the gym to be able to jump higher, to be more explosive, and to be faster, and that's proven in her game this season.
Kennedy Martin from that right pin with the kill. No doubter there by Martin.
And Penn State wants to come back in this match down 0-2. They haven't even hit 15 points in it. They need their star to come alive, and that's been Kennedy Martin all season. She has 8 kills right now. They need her to be more productive and more efficient.
What a swing by Adriano.
Virginia Adriano has looked incredible today, and her development and maturation throughout this year has been really fun to see. Her hit different shots, Bergen Riley and her connection getting a lot better as well, and it's led to a lot more efficient play on the right side.
Short serve there by Adriano. Off the top of the block, goes back, Penn State recycling. Opportunity again, tipped by Martin, not down, and Andy Jackson just with an intelligent little tip off the block, gets the kill.
Really high IQ play from Andy Jackson. She hung up in the air just a little bit longer. She didn't just tap this ball down, she threw that ball down.
Andy Jackson now hitting 400 after earlier in the match hitting 167. She slowly worked her way back up. Very similar to what she did early in the year. We're like, where's Andy Jackson? She's struggling a little bit. And all of a sudden she's hitting over 500 at the conference. She's like, well, not struggling anymore. Pounded right into the block of Andy Jackson. Shuts down Kennedy Martin.
Andy Jackson, I mean, completely in that conversation right now for Big Ten Player of the Year in a historic season, potentially having the highest hit percentage in Big Ten history during conference play, and how she's able to affect both sides of the ball. I think she's absolutely in that.
Yeah, right now the all-time single season record in the Big Ten Conference for hitting percentage in a single year. We've talked about it a few times. You go back to those Penn State years when they won 4 consecutive national titles. Jackson again on cue as we talked about Andy. That all-time record is by Penn State's Ariel Wilson, who hit 541 in conference back in 2008. And look at Andy right now, 567.
Unreal what Jackson has been able to do. And, you know, this is a different time. They're going up against really, really good teams. Not that those Penn State teams didn't, but the schedule that Nebraska has had and the caliber of play and how good blockers are nowadays, I think makes what Andy Jackson does even more impressive. Here's that last swing, this slide attack. A quick attack behind the setter has been so effective and one of the best connections that we see in all of NCAA volleyball.
It's made her so good this year. She had an opportunity to go inside there. You could see at the last minute, instead of going inside with the block was closing, she decided to go line. It's that last minute adjustment and decision making like that has made her so good.
Yeah, it's the decision making. It's also just Jackson's vision. She's able to see the block a lot better. You think about her freshman season, it really felt like she had one shot. It was back into the court. Now Jackson has the range to be able to hit seam, go cross, hit the line, depending on where that set is, and seeing the blocker set up.
On the slide, that was Jordan Hopp, former Nebraska prep out of Alliance. Was there a touch? No touch. There's Jordan Hopp. Playing well this year for Penn State, hitting .318. Kennedy Martin with a kill. So Penn State had their Thanksgiving dinner before they hit the plane. They got here, had another second Thanksgiving dinner, according to Coach. And then they were entertained by Kennedy Martin in the lobby playing piano.
Oh.
She is multi-talented.
I mean, of course she is.
Yeah, you're not surprised, right?
No, I mean, she's good at literally everything and truly one of the best humans as well, so not surprising at all.
Said they all gathered in the lobby and she played piano and they sang along and it was fantastic. Who do you think plays the piano, hits the keys better, Kennedy Martin or our director, Pat O'Connor?
Don't make me choose. Come on. Pat's too good. I'm going with Pat.
Down the line, just wide of the swing by Jura. Vicious point for the Huskers. I was talking to Kennedy this afternoon too. She gets so many swings. You know, we've seen a couple of matches where she's had 75 plus swings in a match. And I said, shoulder gets sore? She really never has shoulder soreness or trouble, which is amazing, first of all.
Yeah.
But she said what she is she feels like her body is just beat down after some of those long rallies. So she works really hard on conditioning. You know, father's a former professional athlete, like, you know, with the Packers and coaching the Packers. So she certainly understands how to keep her body in great shape. But she said shoulder doesn't get sore, but she, you know, those Normatec boots that you put on, the compression boot, yeah. Big fan of the Normatec boots, and she says it keeps her in shape.
Yeah, well, for Kennedy Martin, too, she's been doing this every year of her college career. Her first 2 years with Florida, it felt like she had the same number of swings every single match that she's had with Penn State. I mean, she led the NCAA in points per set last season. A lot of that is because she's getting so many swings. But you kind of condition your body to be able to do that, and then obviously have to really focus on recovery and take care of yourself, too, to make sure that you can keep that up.
I think it's the year-over-year where it's a bit surprising that she doesn't have sore shoulders or arms, you know. Big block. Mendelssohn shuts down Adriano.
Awesome play from Morgan Riley to chase that ball down. I think we've had 4 or 5 kind of highlight reel plays from Riley on saves this year. We talk so much about, you know, how good she is with Nebraska's offense, but defensively, Riley's able to pick things up that not a lot of players are. And a good front row shutdown for Penn State there.
Serve is long by Addie Lyon.
And Penn State just hasn't been able to go on runs. They're only scoring about 12% right now, which is insanely low. Normally you want to be around 45%.
Good pass, run the middle. Rebecca Alex solo on Mendelssohn. Wow.
Big read from Alec in the middle, diving back into the line of approach. What Alec did so well was get those shoulders set up right where Mendelssohn was coming through and get those hands in a good spot.
Tough pass there. Back row swing off the block and the kill by Juravicius.
Very nice assistant play from Juravicius. This ball is really difficult to put down because everyone knew where it was going. There was only one option on attack. It was a good block on Nebraska's side. She still was able to score.
Rebecca Alec in the middle, off the block, and Alec with another kill.
I don't think Penn State is serving tough enough right now. Nebraska is eating up every single pass so easily. That's why they're able to side out at such a high clip. Penn State right now, they've got nothing to lose. They got to get after it on the service line.
Alec hitting 667, 6 kills, 9 swings, no errors. Great tip by Martin. Showboys there. Back row, Sigler. Good up by Falgudo. And another amazing up, and it is in. Harper Murray got the touch, and Harper Murray with another kill. That's 9 for Murray.
That play felt like all Lainey Showboy. She had awesome ups in the back row. Beautiful diving saves, able to get her arms out just in time, and then an out-of-system set to Harper Murray. Perfect behind her head.
Showboy now back to serve. Adriano tried to go inside the block of Mendelson, did not clear the net.
Just a little bit off on that timing from Adriano, trying to slice it in, about 5 feet off the net.
Just long, did not get a touch on the swing by Selman. And the Huskers have now doubled up. Look at the banners. Back in the Big 12 days when they were rattling off 6, 7 in a row.
I mean, the Devaney Center feels like they're going to run out of banner space right now.
Make smaller banners.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
Good swing off the top of the block. Kennedy Martin with the kill. That is her 9th kill of the match.
Martin has one of the most lethal serves on Penn State. She's let up just a little bit this match. Would love to see her really attack this one.
And just long by Martin. We're talking about what a fantastic rivalry this has been between Penn State and Nebraska. Go back and look at some of my favorite Penn State, Nebraska. Maybe
yeah.
Let's go back to the first one I think of in '98. Winner goes to the Final Four. It was the Nebraska Coliseum. It goes 5 sets before rally scoring. 2018 in the 5th. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska would later lose to Stanford in the Final Four. But that was what do you remember about that one?
Yeah, I remember being 6 months old. So
I will not tell you how old I was then. That's funny. 08.
Yep.
At the Final Four in Omaha. Penn State had won 111 sets in a row. Hadn't dropped a set in Nebraska. Takes them to 5. Penn State ends up winning at 15-11 in the 5th. And obviously that was the second of what would be 4 straight national titles for Penn State. That was a fantastic one.
Yeah, just a special one to watch because it was such a dominant Penn State team all year, and they get all the way there, and then Nebraska finally pushes this team who had looked so unstoppable all year.
All right, my other Penn State is leading, has match point. Heidi Thiel and Abby. I know this is not a Penn State fan. They trip. Abby Dietering trip. Nebraska goes on to win it, and the Huskers end up winning the national title in 2017. Russ Rose, in an interview, we talked with Russ about it. He said that's still one that haunts him because he knew he had the better team that year.
Yeah.
And then my last has to be last year. Oh, by the way, Kelly Natter, Kelly
on the 2017.
On the 2017, she had the final kill to win that for Nebraska in the 2017 national title game.
Yep.
And then obviously last year with Katie Schumacher-Colley's team coming back from down 2-0 to beat Nebraska. The Huskers had them down 2016. Penn State finds a way to come back. That was phenomenal for the Nittany Lions. And they go on to win a national title.
And fending off a match point and the grit that we saw from that Penn State team that looked just completely down and out was so cool to see. And a lot of that, channeling that fight from their coach, Katie Schumacher-Colley, who was fighting breast cancer all last season. What that team was able to do in the magical run they had to finish it. I mean, it was one of the most epic NCAA volleyball matches of all time.
Sometimes there are things bigger than volleyball that you're playing for that elevate your play. It just felt like that's what happened to Penn State Live. They elevated their play in those last moments to go on to win it in 5. Martin out of the back row. Rebecca Alec in the middle again, and Alec has 8 kills on 11 swings, 750 is her hitting percentage.
And the balance from Nebraska tonight, and really this entire season, been so impressive. And really, Bergen Riley's ability to find the middles. A lot of that starts with, yes, a really good first contact, but the connections are so good. You rarely see mixed connects.
You just said it, but 14 kills by Nebraska's middles.
What's been especially cool this season as well is those connections have been so good that we've seen Alec and Jackson lead Nebraska in kills time and time again throughout matches because the connection is so good and the passing is so good that they send so many balls to the middle.
Mendelson with a swing in the middle. Good dig by Bergen Riley. Wide of a swing by Landfair. Point Penn State.
Penn State trying to find any kind of momentum. Having Kennedy Martin back in the front court definitely helps. But again, at this point in the match, you just want to see some fight from your team, an ability to bounce back and at least show some signs of life here.
Free ball here for the Nittany Lions. Kennedy Martin off the block. And 11 kills now for Kennedy Martin.
And chipping away at that lead, Kennedy Martin, the focal point of this Penn State offense, going to get a lot of swings tonight and really for the rest of Penn State season.
On the slide, Alec with the kill. 9 kills for Alec, tying Harper Murray for the team lead.
Those are plays that you rarely see from middle blockers as well. Going up on a hard swing and pulling back the string a little to hit an off speed right to the middle of the court. That really shows how good the touch is for Alec as well.
Swing is wide by Martin. Point Nebraska, and the Huskers 2 away from a sweep.
The way that Nebraska has been able to come out this season and just dominate and not even blink an eye and look the same in terms of energy and consistency from set to set has been so impressive.
Huskers out blocking the Nittany Lions 9-2. Big blocking night for Nebraska. Falduno now with the serve. Does not make it back over. Harper Murray with the kill, and now we have match point for the Huskers as they come to their feet here in Lincoln. There was a touch. Harper Murray with the kill, and Nebraska wins the match in a sweep, 25-14 in set.